Greetings, my saplings. Alright, so in today's video, we are going to be discussing the upcoming Undercover and Nike React Element 87 collaboration. To be more specific in today's video, like always, we'll be mentioning some release info and some background information for the sneakers, how to cop the sneakers, of course, and like always in today's videos, at the very end, we'll be mentioning some resale predictions for those of you guys who are interested in reselling the shoe. Alright, so on September 13th for $175, we have 4 colorways, not 1, not 2, but 4 colorways of the React Element 87 and Undercover collab releasing. First colorway we have is the Chalk. The Chalk is mostly covered in a classic stone or brown color with some red, blue, and beige accents. The second colorway up, we have the Green Mist. The upper of this shoe is mostly covered in the Green Mist colorway, and then we also have some accents of Summit White, Burgundy, and Black. So far, it looks like this colorway is everyone's favorite. I think it's simply because this is the easiest colorway to pull off. Moving on to the next colorways, as you can see with these new colorways, it's definitely quite the contrary. So this third colorway is called the Lakeside, and this is mostly covered in electric yellow. Then we also have some green and light blue and black accents. Now this is just personally my favorite colorway just because I like the neck breakers, but I understand a lot of you guys like the more subtle shoes. Fourth colorway up is again another neck breaker. This is the Volt. This one has a greenish yellow upper and then some blue, black, and red accents. Now all 4 of those uppers do have the translucent upper, so depending what socks you wear, you can change up the look of the shoe. But most notably on this sneaker, of course, you have that Undercover branding right on the upper with Jun Takahashi's name on it. So now jumping into the background information for the sneaker, first thing I'm going to mention is if you only want to see how to cop the sneaker, if you only want to know how to get it, hey, feel free to skip to this part of the video. But for those of you who do care about the shoe and the man behind Undercover, I would like to take a small dive with you into the history. So the man behind the design of Undercover, Jun Takahashi. So in 1988, he attended a fashion college. Specifically, this fashion college was called Bunka. You might recognize this college's name just because Yohji Yamamoto also attended this school. And of course, you might know him for his famous Y3. Now also, Jun was a singer for TSP, but most notably in 1993, he launched his high-end streetwear brand, Undercover. Now I watched a couple of interviews with him and I found some pretty interesting stuff actually. One question he was asked was how he feels technology plays a role in fashion, and he actually explains that functionality is a crucial part of his sneakers and also of his clothes, and that he wants to stick to the newest technological advancements and implement them into his newest design and newest works. Hence, it's really no mystery why he chose to use the React Element 87 as his silhouette to work on.
最近の自分のスタイルとしてはそのファンクションの部分というかをすごく重要視してるし、やっぱ自分が着るものとしてもそういうテクノロジーの今の発達してる要素を絶対取り込むべきだと思うし、まあ着て着心地が良かったりとかそういう面で言ってもやっぱり。
Of course, as you guys know, not only is the React Element 87 extremely comfortable, but I would say that it's definitely something out of the ordinary, something new that we really haven't seen before. In my opinion, I think he definitely made the right choice going with the React cushioning sneaker. Also, another reason I think he chose to work on the Nike React is because although this is more of a casual walking shoe, the Nike React overall, not the Element 87s, is definitely a running shoe, and he definitely explains that he loves to run. The reason he says to run is actually because he states that he's able to think freely because you don't have to think too hard when you run. Usually he's often caught up in a lot of work and stuff, but running kind of takes the ease off of it. So I just thought this was really interesting. I figured this is why he chose to work on the React Element 87. Moving on, one of the fashion show titles was Less But Better, and this was actually a quote from Dieter Rams.
そういう、より少なくより良くっていうか、だから本当にミニマルなシステムで気持ちでやっていくっていうのがその質素な感じっていうか、そういうことが今の時代必要なんだなと思ってそれを今回スタート。
Now, although the colorways are definitely not too subtle except for perhaps like the Green Mist, I would say that he definitely implemented minimalism into this when he put the branding on the sneaker. Of course, he could have flaunted the Undercover branding all over the React Element 87, but instead he chose to make it very small, and that's something I respect. When it comes to a lot of collaborations, I'm not a huge fan of sneaker that has Supreme written all over it. I like something a little more subtle. I like what he chose to do with this. So hopefully now if somebody were to hypothetically ask you what sneakers you were wearing, you would then be able to tell them a little bit about what you know. Anyway, with that out of the way, why don't we jump to the how to cop portion of the video. The first thing I wanted to start off with is that there is a lot of raffles to join, and I urge you to join before they expire. I think most of them expire on the 13th, the day of the release, but just to be safe, I would sign up right after this video. All the links for the raffles are going to be on my Twitter. My Twitter is KeithAdam10. I like to put them all there just so it's extremely easy for you guys. All you got to do is just click the link, fill in your info, and that's it. I know a lot of you guys avoid raffles because you might say like, oh, I'm extremely unlucky, I never really win, but I definitely urge you guys to sign up because although I rarely win raffles myself, despite making multiple entries on each raffle, I still do win. In fact, I won the raffle for the Nigel Jordan 1s. However, there's something I gotta warn you guys about. When it comes to end clothing or sneakers and stuff or any raffle where you have to pay beforehand, make sure you call your bank or your credit card company and allow those payments to go through, because what happened is I actually won the Nigel Jordan 1s, but unfortunately, the payment didn't go through because the credit card called it as fraud. So I didn't get my Jordan 1 Nigels. Nope, didn't get them at all. So I guess my warning here would be when it comes to end clothing, SNS, or any prepaid raffle, definitely call up your credit card company, definitely call up your bank, whatever it is, because of course I wouldn't want this same thing happening to any of you guys. Now moving on from the raffles, we do know that Nike sneakers will be getting these, the app and of course the website as well. The reason I know that Nike sneakers will be getting them is simply because on Undercover's Instagram, in 4 of their pictures of these sneakers, they simply state it right there in the caption. Now the essential question here now is it going to be a shock drop or is it going to be a scheduled drop? Is it going to be a draw? Because unfortunately as of now, it's not on the launch calendar. So just what I'm personally expecting, I'm expecting them to release at 10 a.m. Eastern time on the 13th. I don't think they will shock drop, and the reason I'm not expecting these to shock drop is because I don't think they'd shock drop 4 sneakers at once. If they did do a shock drop, hypothetically, maybe they drop 1 and then they schedule the other 3 or all 4 again for a later date, possibly on the 13th. I'm expecting the product page to come up for these on Nike sneakers on the 12th, if not possibly even earlier than that. It's also very, very possible that we'll see another scratch drop for these. If you're not familiar with the scratch drop, it happened for the Off-White 97. It also happened for the acronym Prestos, where essentially it was a behind the design page, and you had to try swiping on all of the images, and eventually one image would be responsive. You would see red lines appear. Once you scratch something out of the image and started scratching again and stopping, scratching again, eventually a video would play. You could X out the video and then you could just purchase the shoe if they're still available. So I think a scratch is definitely possible for these, but not for all 4 of them. I think that if they were to do this, they would only do 1 colorway, if any. All I'm saying is that it's a possibility to look out for. So if you do see it behind the design page, make sure you swipe every single image you see. I'm more or less just expecting a Leo drop on the 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern time, but again, anything's possible. In fact, hey, a shock drop is definitely possible. So I guess the main rule here is just keep your eyes open just to be safe. If you happen to be new to this and you don't know how to stay up to date with this stuff, you're saying, what, am I supposed to watch the sneakers app all day? You can't do that. All you really have to do is turn on tweet notifications for Solinks. The thing with Solinks is when they get the notification for this from their monitors, it is slightly delayed because they have to type up the tweet as well. So it's around a minute delayed, but honestly, you're gonna be fine because it is a Leo drop, meaning you have 2 to 4 minutes to get all your accounts in. It's not actually first come, first serve. So if you're the first one there, you have the same chance as say the 70th person there or the 100th person there. I think Solinks is fantastic, but of course there are better ways to go about this. If you guys want, you could purchase like a Nike sneakers monitor yourself. Those things are like $100 a month. Or what you could actually do as an alternative, you could feel free to join a Discord group. So if you guys know Danny was the guy who gave us the free site list for the Skeptas, and he didn't ask for anything in return. He didn't even ask for any recognition, but of course I gave it to him because he deserved it. He actually is co-owner of Soul City, I believe, so you could feel free to check them out if you wanted to. And another Discord that's definitely great is Fake Success. The reason I wanted to mention these 2 Discords is because they definitely treat their members very, very well. And of course, the sneakers monitors are very fast. Again, you really don't need to join the Discord since they are Leo drops, but this is just an extra layer of precaution. Again, if you were to join any, these 2 are ones I would suggest. And no, they didn't offer me anything to say this to you guys. They didn't even ask me to say this, in fact. I'm just recommending this to you guys just in case you want that extra layer of precaution. But again, Solinks should be fine. Now, the last place that I want to mention that I believe is doing a first come first serve, simply because Undercover actually released this info on their Instagram, just like they released the info for Nike sneakers releasing these. Apparently, Dover Street Market will be getting these, and like always with Dover Street Market, for Dover Street Market London, I'm expecting them to drop these via eFlash at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, and then I'm expecting Dover Street Market New York to get these at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, here's the thing with Dover Street Market, they really just sell out almost instantly, so it's up to you if you want to try. It really only takes 2 to 3 minutes to give it a shot, so I always try just because it doesn't hurt, but don't expect anything out of Dover Street Market. Now, with the head of cop out of the way, let's jump to some resale predictions because I know a lot of you guys care about that. So starting it off, we know that the original Element 87s definitely did pretty good numbers. For instance, the sail colorway and the black colorway, they were all doing really good at the beginning, and in fact, right now they're doing slightly even better than they initially were. Now, moving on to the next few colorways that released, they sold out. However, they aren't really reselling. Considering that this is a collab with Undercover, you could definitely expect demand to be much higher. But not only that, you could expect less stock, so you combine that with a shoe that's already in high demand. So I would definitely expect these shoes to be profitable. In fact, pre-sale is already showing that. My only thing about the pre-sale is don't expect those prices to hold, especially those mist greens. Definitely expect those prices to go down from what they're at right now. But I am expecting, out of all of them, the mist green to actually go for the most, simply because I think that there is the most demand for that colorway. It's the easiest to pull off, like I mentioned earlier. But if you have a chance to go for all 4 of them, I would suggest that as well. But with that, I guess I'll end today's video, so feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, if you perhaps learned a thing or two. Also, definitely subscribe and turn on post notifications if you happen to be new. With that though, have a fantastic rest of your day, and good luck.